Okay.
Hello. Oh, hello everyone. I've just started streaming, Andy. Did you want to say something before we started?
No, other than hello.
Okay, good. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm here with Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Adam.
If he sounds like he's down a well or shouting at you with a godlike voice, I apologise. I've still got some audio issues. So just make sure.
Audio issues.
Some audio issues, and yes, that are hindering me. So yeah, but we're gonna have a bit of a chat about something that Andy has experienced a lot throughout his life. If you've seen his face, you'll know why. And that is being trolled and bullied, which is obviously something you've had to deal with for many years, Andrew. And
even now, even like in my professional, social circles, it's still an ongoing issue. So,
yeah,
and YouTube as well, obviously.
well, exactly, and the emotional scars are visible for everyone to see.
They certainly are, and for everybody to hear as well.
Yeah, in that dejected Mancunian voice.
Right, enough's enough.
But yeah, anyway, no, we're gonna have a bit of a chat. Well, it was your suggestion, Andy. So why did you want to talk about this evening? I do have some things to bring to the table, but I won't start throwing my examples just there in there yet.
Well, it's something we talked about doing, like discussing a topic like this a number of weeks ago, but we never got round to it. I think we were going to do a video on my channel, weren't we?
Probably.
And I think the thing that spurned it was when YouTube started cancelling the Chris Jam videos because of bullying.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
A guy, just for anybody that doesn't know, there's a guy called, is it Gino Samuels?
Gino Samuel.
Gino Samuels. We mentioned it on the last stream, but he did very good 40-minute videos about the life of Chris Chan, which weren't in any way degrading. It was just simply reporting the facts, as factual as you could get. And they were continually taken down for breaching the harassment and bullying guidelines. And I just found it very, very odd that now, it may be a fault within the algorithms of YouTube, because I think we talked about it last week when we were on GTA, and we said, like, if so many people flag a video, it will get reviewed by YouTube, not necessarily by somebody individually, but by the algorithms.
Yeah, it'll get taken down if enough people flag it. I mean, we theorised, didn't we, that it was done on a percentage base. So say like 10% of the viewers who had watched it flagged it, then it's likely it will be removed. Of course, that's just speculation.
Yeah, but I don't think it could do that. I think if there's so let's just say there's a naturally innocent video on YouTube. But I can't really think of anything as innocent as, I'd say, a children's video, but it'd probably be linked to Elsagate.
Well,
let's
that's
just
the
say
trouble, and I think that had a lot more to do with how the algorithm has changed and why so much stuff that is non-partial or unbiased gets removed.
Yeah, but still, if a video, let's just say there's a video of a bunny rabbit hopping in the snow, right? That's it. It's a 10-minute long video, and it gets flagged by enough people. Would it get taken down?
Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, it'd have to be someone with a lot of weight behind them. I mean, I don't know how deep they go into it or anything like that, if they would actually start checking IP addresses and whether it's all locating from one place.
But what sort of confuses me is I don't think that it would. I think that it's like, if enough people flag them Chris Chan videos, because it's about... You see, we don't know that the videos were flagged, do we? We just know that they were taken down. It's about a controversial YouTube figure. It was taken down. Base Sharman has done videos about serial killers. And, in any videos that I've ever seen, apart from some of his early alarm videos, Base Sharman's very respectful. And his videos about serial killers were taken down, and even one of his channels got deleted for harassment and bullying. And I think the reason we were looking at doing this video is, like, where do we draw the line between trolling and harassment and bullying?
Well, yeah, absolutely, but it's such a grey area that it's not like you can't police this sort of thing, and we're not the policemen of the internet, but it's an interesting topic to discuss. But I think we've seen trolling that we've enjoyed, and then we've seen things that have made us uncomfortable in lots of areas. Like if you take Chris Chan, for example, I mean, some of it was almost good-hearted, and I think some of these things, they start with the best intentions, trying to make these people see the error of their ways, and then it's kind of like a slippery slope, because people they start and they're sort of like, I don't know, with Chris Chan, they pretend to be a hot girl, and then they get him to listen to him, and then try and say like, well, you should get yourself a job instead of trying to like leech off the internet, and you should get out into it, and then he just doesn't do it, and he doesn't change, and so the trolling sort of becomes more and more degraded, because they start just seeing how far they can go. I mean, you look at something like the Liquid Chris saga, which in my opinion was all sort of good fun and good hearted. It was taking advantage to an extent of someone who didn't really understand the premise. I mean, but that's what made it so funny. But I mean, it's not saying that if something's humorous it's okay, but it seemed there didn't seem to be any malice behind it, although it did seem at points like Chris Chan himself was almost questioning his identity and whether he was the real Chris Chan anymore. But that I wouldn't consider bullying. I would say he was satirizing his subject matter and interacting directly with him, and it was very clever. But then, like, someone else getting him to stick his medallion up his arse is just plain cruel, and there's no... But you saw the amount of backlash with that. I mean, there's no respite for doing something like that.
No, I mean I think it all goes into what the intentions are of the people doing it. You know, a lot of them. We can go back to the very early Chris Chan. Well, I say very early, but one of the more memorable parts of the Chris Chan saga from the Samuels documentaries was the bit where they got the girl to meet him in the mall.
Yeah.
And then she runs off with the pickle man.
Pickle man, yeah.
Anybody listening to this now will just be thinking, what the fuck are they talking about? But just to give you a bit of, just in case you don't know, Chris Chan was trolled, or whatever you want to call it, bullied or whatever, by a group of these people from his college, I believe. And this girl, who's obviously part of these trolls or bullies, met him at the mall under false pretenses. I believe his father was there originally as well. It's all recorded on audio. They turn up, and then they got another one of these trolls who's dressed in a giant pickle outfit. He's dressed as a giant pickle to then sort of go away with this girl and shun Chris Chan, and this is all done for laughs. And I'm like, you could argue that that's like a bit of a practical joke, but I think that's pretty fucking cruel.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch, do you remember Trigger Happy TV? The Dom Jolly series.
I remember the name, but I don't really.
But like, he would just dress up in stupid costumes and just jump out and scare people, and that was like funny. But it's different. I suppose it's different with Chris Chan, because it's something else to take into account. Like, because it becomes repetitive harassment. Is it okay if it's someone else? Just like. It's not okay, but like the people, like let's say one group of people are trolling him, and another group of people then start doing it, but they've only done this amount of trolling, so they don't see what they're doing is that bad. But yet, as the victim here, he's getting trolled by loads of people, and the people doing the trolling don't really see that. They think they're the only people trolling him.
Yeah, of course. It's a lot of people have got a lot. I mean, we've talked about Chris Chan in a lot of detail, haven't we, in a lot of videos. But the reason originally, I think, is because of the sort of comparisons we had to Lorne. But with regard to, I suppose the thing with Chris Chan, this interests me, is how much of his autism is attributed to his situation, and how much of a disadvantage was that.
Well, I don't want to get into that, because you and I disagree on that, and so I think we'll get sidetracked.
Yeah, but the reason I mentioned it is because that was one of my original sort of intriguing elements to it. You know, how much of that, but I suppose
I don't think high functioning autism is an excuse for a lack of development in character.
no. You're right. We have gone over that many times, and to some degree, I think you're right. But you're right. You sort of put it in a perspective not really thought of there before. You've got one person playing a silly joke on him, but you get 100 people playing silly jokes on him, and it ruins his life.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, really, is it? I mean, he's done some pretty fucking stupid things, Chris Chan. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, do you think it is bullying or trolling? What's the difference?
I think some of it, especially the Blue Spike saga, for example, was absolutely disgusting, went far too far. But the trolls at the time were telling him that, and there's even other parts to that, like where they're talking about, you know, this fabricated woman, and then Blue Spike says, "Oh, she's dead." And the guy, who was that, his long-running kind of trolling sparring partner, the guy that had the really weird profile, Clyde Cash.
Oh, what was his fucking name?
Clyde Cash.
Yeah, Clyde, he kept calling him, didn't he?
Yeah, Clyde Cash.
He's his like main nemesis, wasn't he?
But even Clyde Cash said, "Stop! Why do you have to keep being so cruel? Don't say she's dead. Just say she's gone." And I think, sometimes I think like that Blue Spike person was a very malicious person. Probably had a lot of their own problems going on, though. It tends to be those kind of people that are the worst of the trolls. I was accused of cyberbullying today.
But that's interesting. Would you like to elaborate?
Well, I did an Andy, and I rose to it today.
Excuse me, you rise to it just as much, if not more, than I do.
I'm much more zen than you are.
Hang on a minute. When I was at yours the other week, do you remember that fucking argument you was having, that 14-year-old kid? You was going on for... I was trying to have a conversation with you, and you was totally engrossed in your phone, arguing with some guy who left a comment on your video. What did he say now? Something like... He said... Oh, that was it. That guy said, your stuff's boring. And you proper fucking lost it. It was like, I'm one of your scam baiting videos. You went, what's the point of this? This is boring. And you went, excuse me, you don't need to fucking watch it. Blah, blah, blah. And you started writing a fucking essay.
Yeah, well, I did that kind of again today, but I can read you out the exchange here and see what you think.
Go on.
See if right. So this was the comment. It was left on my scam baiting videos, on my most popular video, and it said, "I should report you for cyberbullying, you lowlife. By your looks, I can see why you enjoy mocking others. Loser."
Well, they got that right.
Loser, dime a dozen loser. Typical. You get off on harassing others. You should take care of your own business for a change and start by getting a decent haircut. Maybe a face transplant. You got grey hair and you act like a 12-year-old. Right, so this was my first response, and this was I had to stop myself, like, after I started getting lots of comments on YouTube from replying in the mornings, because I'm not in a very good mood in the mornings. So I replied this morning because I thought I'd make an exception here. I said, so you accuse me of cyberbullying. Clearly your intelligence is so low you don't actually understand the man I'm talking to as a criminal. And then you go on a tirade of insults, and apparently I'm the cyberbully. I'm not normally this rude in the comments, but you're a fucking idiot.
Brilliant.
Which I thought was a fairly fair response.
I
mean, I don't normally outright insult people, but she started it.
She started it?
Yeah.
Well, that justifies everything. I was just going to do the 2 eye signal with my fingers there. I saw her first, mate. So you won the argument.
Well, I got a reply.
Have they responded to that comment, by the way?
Yeah, I got a reply this afternoon. 2 replies, in fact.
Go on.
The first one said, point proven. It wasn't intended as insults, but facts. Apparently me needing a face transplant is a fact. You have grey hair.
I'd agree with that.
You have grey hair and you're acting like a schoolyard 12-year-old. And then, of course, that wasn't enough, so she replied again, straight away. Who the hell gave you the power or right at that, to act like a cop, vigilante, to judge others and cyberbully them? No, you are clearly the idiot here. See, I find no need to mock and degrade others, only to join the crowd. You're not only an idiot, but you are weak. It only shows how weak you truly are, but you wouldn't be able to see that, of course. Another point to you being an idiot. You do clearly know that wrecked is spelt wrecked with a W, don't you? So why the obvious misspell? And of course, I had to have the last word, you know me.
Yeah.
So actually, wreck is in the dictionary. However, I use the modern slang spelling so it fits the IRS acronym. If you think this man has a right to cheat, lie, and steal from the elderly and vulnerable, then that is a testament to your character. My point stands, you're a fucking idiot. You say you have no need to mock and degrade others, but you did exactly that in your first comment. It would be an offence to people with learning difficulties to call you a retard.
Wow, that's pretty cleverly written. Have you had a reply from that?
No, that was the last of it.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up an interesting... I mean, let's talk about this guy first. It sounds like he actually genuinely does think that you are a bully. I don't think it's a specific troll. I think he believes what he's saying.
I don't think it was. I think it was someone, or maybe... the impression I get from that person, and maybe I'm being a bit... what's the word I'm looking for here? A bit of a dick. But the impression I get is she just saw my face, didn't like it. Rather than turn the video off, they just went, it's a fucking man and he's being rude to an Indian. We've got to protect the minorities.
Is he a social justice warrior?
It's an SJW, exactly. That's what it is. But there you go. Yeah, you're probably right, Linda. I should have just deleted it, but it just annoyed me. It's like, why if you dislike someone so much? What annoyed me mostly is their misunderstanding of the video. Like, it's like I should leave this poor man away. I mean, I mock and I take the piss out of people, but these are criminals. If anyone deserves it, I mean, it's not like I'm doing it to Chris Chan, is it?
I mean, this sort of brings us I've always been sort of intrigued as to, because what you do with the scam baiting, very few people would be... You'd have to come up with a really good argument to say what you're doing is wrong, because you are wasting the time of these people and therefore preventing them from scamming someone. From one aspect, you can't really say anything against it. But there are also occasions where you do insult these people, but one could argue that they deserve every insult they get, and from one perspective it's right. But there's every now and again you come across someone and they kind of have it, don't they? Some of your quite well-known videos are ones where they like break down in tears, or they realise their errors of the way. But the thing is, it's not like you continue having a go at them. You always give people the opportunity, don't you, to speak up and do something about it. You don't always say, well, fuck you, or you get run over, you know what I mean? Then it would be bullying and harassment, wouldn't it?
No, I mean, the thing is, if they come out and say, and a lot of people, they take umbrage with that when I do that in the videos as well. And they go, why were you being polite to this man? Why, he's a lowlife, he's scummy, deserves to die. I'm like, well, if he's saying he knows what he's doing is wrong and that he doesn't want to do it, even if he's lying to me to make me not take the piss out of him, what more can I do than have a civil conversation and say, look, you need to have a think about your life if this is what you're doing. There's no point just, becoming really nasty over it. And I think that's what annoyed me about that woman accusing me of being a cyberbully, because even in that video, the whole way through, it's like gentle taking the piss. It's like saying how far I can get this guy to believe, like that I can get this guy to believe I accidentally raped a man on a nudist beach.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those people.
That's self-deprecating in itself. It's not like... That's why I think that comment got under my skin, because I was like, well, I didn't actually outright... I think maybe at the end, and it's only after the reveal when they get angry with me and I go like, well, you're a fucking low-life criminal. That's the only time, like, for the main bulk of the video, it's just me being silly.
Yeah, I think, the thing is, the problem is with this SJW bullshit these days, there's always, no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone that doesn't like it or thinks it's going too far, no matter what you're doing. And especially with with how, not controversial, with how delicate it can be with the videos you do. And you've had people accusing you of being racist before. You're not racist, and anybody that knows you knows you're not. But obviously, the way that you speak sometimes, an idiot could perceive it as being racist, and you'll therefore get the odd person.
How? How could anyone perceive it as being racist? I never made comments about their race as being Indian. I might say I know you're in India. I don't never say like I think you're less of a person because you're in India.
No, I said some people would perceive it as being racist. But like I said...
But they do, and it's not my fault these scams all run out of India.
Oh, no, of course not. Yeah, I agree. But what I'm trying to say is, if you was someone who was one of these SJWs and you were listening to that and you say things, like you come from such a place and you're this, that and the other and you haven't got a pot to piss in, some people will really have a go at that, won't they? But they're obviously not, that's why these people write these comments, isn't it?
But people, this world we live in, the people that get so offended about things that are clearly not what they want them to be, they just want to be offended about it, don't realise they're becoming more offensive in themselves for being that way. If that makes sense,
of course it does. They're just idiots. They're just people with no wisdom that think. You see, the thing is, what I've noticed recently in the last decade or so, it's become cool to be a good person now. It's almost like it used to be like a yuppie mentality in the 80s and that, and step on people and all that, but it's kind of cool now to be good, and I'm a good person and I'm kind to people, because
well, I think it's not cool. It's just it's inbuilt to most people.
No, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more of, I've noticed, because a lot of the literature and the sort of message that's embedded in media and things like that, be good to all that kind of shit. I just think there's more and more people jumping on that bandwagon, trying to be good people when they don't really. It's just the latest fad for them, and it's like, yeah, I'm a good guy, mate, but really you're not. You're a dick. You've got to have the wisdom, otherwise.
But that's what annoys me. Like when people go, oh, "Well, I'm speaking on behalf of, for example, autistic people." It's like, yeah, but you're not autistic. Why do they want you speaking on their behalf?
Yeah, it's like when I said them things about that dating thing, and everybody got upset. Well, we don't actually know who did get upset. There was that gobshite who was, what was his name?
Phil. Oh, Phil de Grave.
Phil the Bin or something.
Phil de Grave.
Oh yeah, and he was like, "You need to apologise to who you've offended." Well, where are these people that are offended? Are you like their army? Well, why can't you just, know?
He was speaking out on behalf of. He was being a white knight for
people that didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, who cares what I think? No one. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's always someone waiting in the wings to be offended, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just quite amusing, but yeah, I suppose that's the world, isn't it? I mean, it sort of leads us nicely to our good friend Lorne and what happened with him, and he can be put into the same category as the scammers. He has scammed someone, and he's a criminal. The difference between him and Chris Chan, we don't want to go over this too much because we're repeating old ground, is that Lorne tried to do something which is irredeemable. That's the problem that he's got.
That's the problem, and the thing I know we were quite uncomfortable with some of the trolling, but the things I had no issue with it at all. It was only when I started to think that someone else might get harmed.
We were more concerned about the collateral damage and the irresponsibility that it was, because at the time, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, because there's a lot of different perspectives on this. I think the error is, if you think you're 100% right and my view's right, that's when you're fucked. You've got to be open to the possibility that there isn't maybe a singular answer that's right. But we were concerned about the collateral damage when Lorne was getting scammed from day to day, about whether he might explode and hurt people or hurt people in his family. And that was a bit of a concern. But, of course, he was an adult. He's responsible for his own decisions. Of course, he is. There's no doubt about that. He got a lot of entertainment out of it, but I just got a bit uncomfortable with it in the end, really. But
at some points, I think it was a bit cruel. There were some things ethically, I don't mind saying. I felt a bit like they were trying to force him into certain holes to make him seem like a worse person than he actually is, and we already know he's a fucking terrible person. But I want to ask the chat then, because there's some stuff going on in the chat, and I don't really understand. Linda's agreeing with Wallace. This is a sounding board for defensive trolls. So what? Do you mean we are defending trolls, or that we shouldn't be defending trolls? Let's take, for example, someone like Lorne, who is a registered sex offender, tried to sleep with a 13-year-old. Does that give people the right? Let's put it out there as a very open question. I'm very curious to hear the people's answer in the chat. Does that give people the right to then mess with this person's life as far as they want to?
Yeah, because that's basically what a lot of that was what the question was it? And do you remember that ethics debate that you did on my behalf when I was on holiday?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, we didn't. It was. I mean, how did you think that went?
Yeah, well, when I was there, or when I was there, it was brilliant. When you did it, it was all right. No,
and that is that.
Yeah. No, I want to question Wallace on this, because he said we're the trolls, but I'd like to know who exactly we're trolling in that case. The whole audience. Well, in that case, wouldn't that 24 people listening? Then this is satire that deserves a lot more people listening to it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you think, fair enough. But
I want to understand the context of this, because for me, trolling is when you pick someone and then you deceive them and trick them and make them do things.
That's bullying, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, but if it's done in good humour. But
the justification for the people that did it to Lorne is that it's such a terrible, and a lot of people said that it wasn't just.
Agree with that. I'm not saying I can't see that.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to. A lot of people, even when Sam Pendleton was doing the debate, I think he quite clearly said that he never said anything wrong with it. He was the therapist. He bought into it and all that. He did have his moments where he calmed down, like when Lorne broke down in tears and he was trying to.
Yeah,
he stepped back a little bit and tried to. He didn't want to destroy him totally. But it's a weird one, because it was a very interesting part of the Lorne saga. The fact that the community, when it was able to manipulate his life from day to day. Let's just read what Wallace has put.
Well, I'm a bit confused because, well, I label them SJWs when they call me racist or misogynist or anything antisocial. Well, yeah, it does get under my skin because I know I'm not them things. So are you saying those people, what they're saying, Wallace, holds weight? Because if you believe I'm racist or misogynist, that's fine, but then you shouldn't be listening to this stream. I'm not here to change your opinion on what you think of myself or Andy. But if you believe that I'm racist or misogynist, and yeah, if I call those people SJWs because they defend criminals, isn't that like their social perhaps there should be a term for people that have gone too far.
Isn't that just, and I'm not just saying this because
like social justice itself, to define the word, it should be a good thing, a social justice warrior, but it's not anymore.
No. But it seems to me that I'm not too sure if what Wallace's criticism is, but it's like you've defended yourself to those comments, and then you're referring to these people as you believe they're SJWs. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You're just kind of defending yourself. If someone calls you a racist, if someone called me a racist, I won't go into details because it's Star Wars related, but someone referred to me as a racist and a sexist as other people have, in a Star Wars comment section of a Facebook page, and it actually genuinely offended me. Even though I should be able to brush over those comments because I know I'm not. I thought, how dare you? There was a part of me that thought, you bastard, you actually genuinely believe I am. Of course, we're humans and things get to us, don't we? We're not all 100% going to be able to brush off everything. Every now and again, someone's going to say something and it's going to piss you off. We're not all totally enlightened.
If you're saying that to call everyone who says something about me personally that I disagree with, I don't think I call them all SJWs. I called that person earlier an idiot, which I would say they are if they called me a racist or a sexist. because then they're making a judgment on someone they don't know. It's a very difficult ground. Like, when I started my YouTube channel, I never expected to get as many comments as I do every day. And of course, not all of them can be nice, and there's some comments that, I just don't like, and I'll just delete, never to be thought of again.
People are just mean sometimes, and that sounds like pretty soft of me to say that, but it's true, innit? I don't know how else to word it, but people are just downright horrible for the sake of it. Like, someone the other day, I can't even remember whether I responded to the comment, and said it was on that Dustin McFetridge interview video on my channel, which, before my old channel got deleted, that was the most popular video. It had like 50,000 views, which for the for the type of videos I do, it was quite a lot. And someone said in this comment, I mean, it's quite funny, really. You're full of shit. Nobody wants to listen to anything that your dull fucking voice says. Blah, blah, blah. Something along them lines. I was like, well, okay, you've come here, you don't like it, but yet you have to attack me personally. It's like, it's pretty weird, isn't it, if you think about it?
Well, it is, but people do it all the time. Like, sometimes...
Oh, of course, it's part of the internet, isn't it? Fuck me, if you can't take a bit of that, then don't have a fucking YouTube channel. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, I got into like a whole to-do with someone, and this was probably, not that long ago, maybe a year or so ago, but we ended up having a huge argument in the comment section that ended up with him challenging me to come and fight him in London. And it's just, why am I getting involved with these people? But at the same time, it's a very difficult ground, because you want to build a community of people that enjoy your videos and have similar tastes. And I met lots of great people through the comments, but at the same time, it also means you have to give a voice to people that maybe dislike you, and when it's coming from a faceless person that's just seeing you, and of course they've got all the ammunition, because they can go, well, your video's shit, blah blah blah, and they can remain completely anonymous. And
Eva Ross has just made a really good point in the comments, and it's sort of, SJWs are just another breed of person looking to boost their ego by attacking others. And that's a great way to put it, because what they're doing is, they're not doing it because they think that it's the right thing to do, or they feel it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they make it they think it makes them appear to be a better person. Like, look at me, I stand up for the rights of the little guy, or whatever. It's like, there's a guy in I don't really drink that much anymore, but when I used to go into the local every now and again, there's a guy in there, and he said to me a couple of times, he says, I helped Danny out the other day. I gave him some money because he lost his job. And I said, oh, that was nice, Andy. Then immediately he goes, not a lot of people know this about me. I give a lot of money to... And immediately it's about him. So it's all... He thinks he's doing a good thing. And from some respects he is. But it's not about him doing the right thing. It's about him boosting his sense of self to become the great doer of all good things. And people who do genuine good things, they're not interested in any kind of ego gratification, or a pat on the back, or how many likes you can get on Facebook, or how many views on YouTube. But of course, the internet's a great way of people showing off, isn't it?
Well, to come back to this, because it's going on quite a lot in the chat, the SJW thing. To be a social justice warrior in the classical term of it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I would say I am a social justice warrior. In fact, there's one thing that woman said that I had the argument with in the comment section, saying you're some sort of vigilante or something. It's like, well, I suppose I am. I'm trying to get, well, not justice, but I'm trying to waste scammers' time to save people's money. So I'm being a social justice warrior in the standard sense of it. I'm the biggest social justice warrior out of everyone here, I'd probably say, in that regard, if it was a good thing. But it's not. We now use the term social justice warrior as someone who's got a misplaced sense of justice.
Yes.
And they will defend it to the hilt without thinking about the consequences or if it makes sense. I mean, the key to sort of life is being open-minded enough to take everyone's views into account and listen to them. And I mean, there are things you can listen to. I mean, there is literally a community of people out there that believe the earth is flat. And yet And they, it's like someone telling me that the sky is red, and I'm going, right, well, they've told me that, so it must be the truth. I'd be an absolute idiot to do that. So if someone wants to stand up to flat earthers, then absolutely. The trouble is, people get these visions in their head and like, oh, I must stand up for this justice, and they don't even understand, and they don't even think about where the other person is coming from, or the reasons behind what they're standing up for.
Yeah, totally, and it's it's become, well, Willet Wallace has just said, do you realise how the language you use, Andrew, is considered microaggressive? Well, I'd say the language you use is very aggressive, because sometimes I speak very aggressively and I use quite...
He's from Manchester as well. Like,
yeah, give me a break.
You have to be aggressive to live in Manchester. Have you ever been there? Fucking hell! It's like it's like The Walking Dead, but worse.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether that's meant. I don't know whether that's meant to educate me or not. Of course, I'm aware I speak aggressively, and of course, the nature of the. I mean, when I was I didn't really advocate it, but when I disagreed with the ongoing trolling of Lorne to the, I gained a lot of enemies, if you want to call it that. You could argue that I was a social justice warrior doing that, saying, no, it's the wrong thing to do. Of course.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever said I was 100% right and everybody else was 100% wrong. I felt uncomfortable, and you have to trust your feelings. And my feelings were telling me it was going too far, and that's as simple as that. And I'm not condoning anybody for doing it, although I had suspicions about certain people involved. That's as much as I ever said. But of course, if you think you are 100% right about anything, I think that's when you've lost grip on things. I think you've always got to remain open in any situation. If you think you're totally right, you're an idiot. And even that's a nonsensical sentence in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, only things that can be backed up with facts can ever be 100% correct.
But even then, that's still not true, because scientists, it's like if you one of these scientists, we don't need to go into the existence of God, but certain scientists won't need scientific proof about a certain thing. But sometimes scientific proof comes forward and then it's discounted a couple of decades later because they find new avenues they find new discoveries and say, well, that isn't right. Like when they said that something can't conceivably travel faster than light, but yet in quantum physics, they know things now can travel faster than light.
But that's something that's become a fact through science, though. Like before, it wasn't possible. So at the time, it was true. It's changed over the course of time.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, what is truth?
Well, there's a lot of things, many things with grey areas, but there are things that are facts. I
disagree with that. Well, listen, we're getting far too deep with this now. To be honest, let's. Yeah, we don't.
A house is called a house. That's a fact.
Not in every country, it isn't.
Well, not in every because everyone's got different languages.
Then it isn't a fact, then, is it?
Will a rose smell as sweet by any other name? What if
I decide to change the word house to something else and said I don't like that word? Then for me, a house isn't a house; it's a different word. So that statement isn't entirely true.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but some things are facts. You're just making it difficult for me to give a.
I'm just trying to say no statement is entirely 100% accurate. No fact can be 100%, 1,000,000% proven. So I'm just saying, if you think you're right, think again.
All right, yeah. But especially that comes into play when you're talking about things that involve opinions and feelings and such.
And this is why, from one perspective, the internet drama that, we've both been through our share of it. I've had probably not as an amount of you, because you've got your channel's a lot bigger and you've had more videos and stuff. But we've both had to navigate criticism and trolling, if you will. But it's part of being on YouTube. You can't. I mean, Jesus Christ, my channel, before it got deleted, had 3,000 subscribers, which was pretty good. I was like, it's doing all right and that. And every day when I'd look at the comments, because I'd get an email telling me what the comments were, there'd always be, "You're a cunt," or "You're this," or "You're that." And that happens every time I open my door, to be honest. But
just people stay.
Oh, hi, Andy, you're a cunt. Oh, yeah, I Ted, you're right, pal. How's it going?
You know, when you get home and there's always spit on the back of your coat.
I know. It's horrible. Chalk as well. Like
chalk penis.
No, but I mean, I think we would, but to the original question is when does trolling become bullying? So if you're trolling someone, what does that mean? It means that are you actively looking to hurt someone? You want to inflict pain on them by insulting them?
I think there's a wide spectrum trolling. I think, there are people out there. And the thing is, I'd have more respect for these people, probably. Like, to use an example, Dax Desi trolled the fuck out of us, but there was no malice in it.
No, it was funny. It was because we both got a sense of humour. We saw the funny side and we didn't take it personally. And that was the key. We didn't take it personally.
I certainly did at first when it first started happening. But Dax Desi was saying all the right things to really wind me up.
What I meant was we didn't take it personally when we found out we were being trolled. We both saw the funny side of it and we ended up becoming what you might consider friends with that person. But another person would have took that personally and straightforward attacked them. And, I'm not saying we're heroes for taking it well, but what I'm trying to say is you have to... We saw the truth of that situation. Someone had a laugh at our expense. We got fooled. It was funny. They never attacked us personally, so why would you get aggravated about it? Every now and again, from the videos I've done, people have attacked me. Like, there was I don't know who it was, someone running around under the name of Lawrence Dink or something, made some really horrible comments towards me that were personal. After I said that sexist thing, it was like personal, like stuff, things that I unfortunately had got out there in the community that I didn't want anybody to know. It was like, really, there was no need for it. It went from disagreements to being personal, and that's when you have to that's when it's difficult to let it over your head, because of course you can take comments. Someone who doesn't know you, who writes a comment on your channel and calls you twat, you just say, well, they don't know you, so it's not personal. But then when people start dragging up personal things, it can get difficult to...
It does. That's the difficulty, though. If someone makes a comment, and I think it shows sort of and it's something I don't think I could ever see myself doing, but it shows the character of someone. If someone watches a video and then they go, "Oh, you're fucking ugly," or whatever, say it's a video you've got your face in it, it's a bit like, well, why are you watching it if you've already taken instant dislike to me?
There is some very silly people. I mean, let's be honest, right? We can try and be as respectful as we can, but let's be honest. There's a lot of complete fucking morons that scour these comment sections that probably don't have much else going on in their life. And they say things like, "You're boring as fuck." The crackers were when I did that Dusty McFetridge interview, and the amount of people that were saying, "Please shut the fuck up, we're trying to listen to the interview." The title of the video is Analysis of Dusty McFetridge's interview.
But that happened on the Russell Williams video we did as well. They were like, "Why won't these two stop blabbering over the top?" It's like, well, the video's freely available without two British idiots talking all over it. You can just type in the same words but without analysis in it, and you'll find the video.
Exactly. That's what I mean by there are a lot of fucking morons running around. It was like, well, it's just... But you have to, feel a little bit sorry for those people.
Do you know I've never had that as well? Amelia's just said, or the KYS comments. I've never had a KYS comment.
What's that?
Kill yourself.
Oh, right. Oh, no, I don't think that probably... I had someone... I've never had that. I've had someone say, "I wish he was in the arena when it got blown up," but...
Oh, that's really dark, though. If someone just says KYS, I think I'd probably love that comment. No one said that to me yet.
Well, you're not from Manchester.
That's dark because they know.
Yeah, that was the lowest point of my whole. I mean, it did. I think it was like a week after it had happened, and obviously everybody knows I'm from Manchester, and some people made comments and said, "I hope you're all right." You know, some people actually put comments in some of the videos and said, "Oh, what's happened?" And then someone put, "The only tragedy of that was that you weren't there when it went off." And I was like, you actually commented, you replied to that comment because I told you about it.
Oh yeah, probably.
You just had to go at the grammar of the person that wrote it. But it was like I put some kind of reply because it did get to me, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
You know, I just said something along the lines of, "I actually feel sorry for you if you have to come out with that." And I think I ended up deleting it because I thought I did just whatever. But of course, when things like that happens, it's like, I'm sorry to go on to Star Wars again, Adam. Do you forgive me?
Yeah, go on then.
The director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, who I dislike completely, has had death threats because of how much that movie has wound up people. Now, of course, as much as I despise that movie and everything that Disney has done, to sort of say those things to another human because they made a bad film, that's when it definitely goes too far, you know. But a lot of people are passionate about it.
But okay, let's talk about a more positive thing, which I would say would definitely come under the umbrella of trolling, but it was actually brilliant. But then it was done against someone who I think YouTube was starting to turn against. So I don't know if you're familiar with Grade A Under A.
I don't think I've heard of that.
He makes like stick-drawn videos with him talking. It's mostly just like on certain subjects, but he started getting involved like in YouTube drama. That's when his channel blew up, when he started commenting on other people's drama. And this guy, he had like hardly any. He set up this whole channel. It was called Reactor, and he set up this channel. His first video was called oh my god, these rally cars keep crashing on this one corner, reaction videos. And it was just him going like, oh wow, as he watched these cars crash. And then he made like maybe 10 of these like really inane, boring reaction videos. And what he then did was he took one of Grade A Under A's videos and he edited Grade A's voice, so it sounded like he was talking about how good this channel was, this guy's channel who made it. He then uploaded this saying, "My friend Grade A Under A endorses my channel," or whatever. So it's like this video, and Grade A Under A's going like, "This channel is amazing. Yeah, this guy is brilliant." And like he'd edited it so well, and he's like reacting to it. Oh wow, I can't believe he's been so kind to me. Now this guy at the time, I believe he had like less than 50 subscribers by now. And he then paid $400, because this was back when it was still possible to do this, to have that video played as an advert at the beginning of Grade A Under A's videos. So that when his video started, his Grade A Under A subscribers thought it was his real video talking about this reactor guy. He went from 50 to like 2,000 subs.
Wow.
He then went on the front page of Reddit, like, got his video up to the front page of Reddit and people talking about it. Then Grade A made a video reacting to him, getting really angry about it, like getting upset about it. He then made another video as if they were talking together and mates, and then he put that as an advert on his channel. And then some kid filmed it on his phone, so he like filmed the screen of the video playing as the advert at the start of a Grade A Under A video. And this went to the front page of Reddit twice again. The guy's channel absolutely blew up, and Grade A Under A got really annoyed about the whole thing. And then he made one final video explaining, like, because Grade A made a video saying how to get YouTube videos popular, talk about drama. And it was like so well done, because at the end he like uses all these splices of Grade A talking about how he did drama and how this guy's done exactly the same thing to like take the piss out of his channel and become really popular. I'm not doing it justice in this retelling of it. Look up the Monkey Jones video about Reactor, and it's legendary, a legend of the internet.
No, have you told me about this before?
I might have mentioned this before. I know Chris and I were talking about it the other day.
You'll have to send me a link to the video. It sounds like something I find quite entertaining, that actually.
It's really well done. And the guy's disappeared now. I think he then left the internet, but yeah, he blew his channel up just by like taking the piss out of one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that.
But then there's no one came, like, the only person that came to harm was Grade A Under A, and it was only by sort of showing how his videos were just commentary on other people's drama that made him so popular. And he pointed out.
Yeah, someone. You just reminded me of someone else who had a go at me, who I got involved in a private message argument a while ago. Accused me of leeching off other people's content, and that's the only reason that your videos are any good. I was saying, I think you've just described 99% of YouTube videos there. Of course, you know, like reviews and fucking reaction videos and YouTube culture and all that. It's pretty much, there's very little genuine new content out there, isn't there? Anyway, we're getting onto another topic, aren't we? But yeah, so have we come to a conclusion about this bullying and...
Well, I don't think there'll ever be a conclusion.
No, good point. I just think it's about the intentions of the people that do it and how much integrity they've got. We're all up for a bit of a laugh, like, you know, let's just look at Lorne. Some of the early Ramona calls were fucking brilliant. I mean, some of the greatest entertainment I've ever listened to, and, you know, I've no problem in saying that. And it was just so funny. So it's like, I didn't see a problem with it, but then, you know, you just gotta... It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? It's like, what were the intentions of the person doing it? Has anybody got... like, if you're trolling someone, do you have a limit and say, right, I wouldn't take it that far. I wouldn't let that person blow his own brains out, or, you know, go crying to his mum or something. You know, I suppose it's about what your intentions are and how much of a decent person you are. Really, I don't like saying that word because even that's subjective.
I think trolling can be done where it's done very funnily. Like I said, that reactor was an example of that, just because he did it in a way that was funny. And I mean, I guess not everyone has that creativity or that intelligence in them, but I think there's a lot of things that could be said as being trolling that are completely harmless. I mean, I think also for me, it's a bit like, if you're trolling the big boys, you know, let's say you start trolling a YouTube account that has 1 million subscribers and he bites, or they bite, he or she bites, then I don't think there's anything wrong in that, really. But then it depends what your intentions are, like, because it can then go one of two ways. So let's say you just want to sort of show this person's real true face. Say they're not a particularly nice person, you've seen that, and then you make a few comments or a fake profile to get them talking to you to exploit that. That's fine, but it's if you exploit someone, like you trick someone by, like, I don't know, say obtaining illicit pictures, and then, well, that's more blackmail, isn't it? But like, if the intention isn't malice, if it's just to, and again we come back into maybe social justice warriors, if it's like to say this person isn't very, like, let's say for example the content cop videos, I mean, they are to an extent trolling, but at the same time they highlight how, like, huge YouTubers have really bad content, and some people need to be shown
which videos are you referring to?
Content cop.
Cop?
I've never watched a content cop.
Why are you not telling me about this stuff?
Because I thought everyone watched Content Cop.
Is this a channel to subscribe to?
Yes, iDubbbz TV, but I've only really watched his Content Cop videos. His other stuff is apparently very good, but I've not really watched it. But he basically took down. So he did a video on Tana Mongeau, which is well worth watching.
Is it called iDubbbz TV? Because
yeah.
Right, 6.7 million subscribers. Right. I'm sure he'll be very happy to know that he's just got another subscriber.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't notice, but he's got content worth watching. But you watch his well,
that's what Colossal did. Colossal is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but iDubbbz is even better. If you think Colossal's videos were well put together, wait till you see iDubbbz's videos.
Wow.
But yeah, you probably need to have some kind of idea of who the people he's talking about are, though, because I knew of Leafy, and I didn't really know of Tana Mongeau, actually, but yeah, he does explain everything very well, and he did one on Keemstar, if you know who he is, and he's, you know, a horrible, terrible person.
Keemstar was involved in the Line Maker thing, wasn't he?
Probably. He's involved in most things, Keemstar. Well, Keemstar, he's fucking a terrible person. I really despise him.
Comes across as a bit of a cock to me.
Oh, he's an absolute cock. He has a show called I don't know if he still has it. I haven't seen it around for a long time. But he used to have a show called Drama Alert, and it was meant to be like a news show talking about drama on the internet or between YouTubers. But he was always really opinionated on who he thought was right and wrong, so it wasn't like a news show. And in one of his shows, his researchers found a guy on the sex offenders register, and then he claimed it was this Twitch streamer, this like sweet old man playing a bit of RuneScape for like 6 people, and all these people went mental after him, calling him pedo and stuff. And if you watch it, you can probably find some documentaries talking about it. It's probably why you don't hear much from Keemstar anymore either, but if you watch it, it's really quite heartbreaking, because like this guy's falsely accused of being a paedophile, and thousands of people like flood his Twitch stream and start like shouting paedophile at him, and he breaks down and starts crying on camera. He's like, I've never done anything like that. And then it turns out that it was misinformation he'd just thrown around. In the end, like when it came out, this guy was fine. He ended up with like thousands of subscribers and got like huge donations from people. But it's still a terrible thing to go through. This poor innocent guy. And yeah, it's really heartbreaking if you watch him breaking down a thing. And then that was the Keemstar that was behind that. And I think actually, if you watch the iDubbbz video, it might even get mentioned during that as to why he's a terrible person. But it's fantastic.
I'll look forward to that. I might watch that when this is done. Little bit of YouTube drama every now and then again's all right, but of course, with YouTube, it's a lot of people's livelihood. I mean, wasn't that woman? I don't want to bring up any undue controversy, but wasn't a woman whose life had been affected by YouTube's new advertising regulations went on a bit of a rampage?
Oh, what, you mean the woman that shot up YouTube offices?
Oh, is that what she did? I thought it was a random attack because of the YouTube thing.
She killed like 4 people because all of her videos have been demonetized.
Right. I mean, I can't believe that's not a bigger story than it actually is. Of course, we do know the media drip feed us on purpose, so...
Well, I can't believe we only discovered the ElsaGate stuff recently.
But the thing is with that ElsaGate thing, what I've realised is not that much stuff about it. There's not that much, because you do know, don't you? We're getting into really conspiracy shit here, but you do know the media's all like purposely driven to feed us certain things, don't you? There's no stories that are telling us exactly what we want to hear.
Yeah.
It's all, so for instance, that ElsaGate should be a really big story, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be huge. There was a BBC article, and that's it. I'm actually surprised there isn't more about it online. What shocks me is some of these channels still exist.
I mean,
they're not
crazy.
Putting out as dark content as they were, but like I said on the last thing, that Webs and Tiaras has still got a whole bunch of their videos on there. Their Elsa and Spider-Man drink from the toilet is now age restricted, but it's still there.
Yeah, what's it even doing there? What's it even doing? Why has it not been taken down?
These people need to be investigated. I don't know why they're not like finding the IP address who's uploading these and sending the FBI there.
Yeah, finding out who's produced the videos and saying, getting involved with the whole operation. It's very, very strange, and it's just. I mean, when we did that video about the ElsaGate thing, and when we was doing a bit of research, it's really like. Doesn't get much worse than that, does it? Well, we don't need to go into it again, but it's pretty fucking dark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very well, in fact, I think I mentioned when we were playing GTA the other night, and I think a lot more of it is because some of the stuff I didn't realise, because I was looking a bit deeper into it, and some of it is computer generated. Like the animations, and I think some of it is basically they were finding the most popular keyword search terms that kids put in, and that's how some of this was being produced. They're just finding, so they're like Elsa, Spider-Man, poop, and then they produce these animations based on what's key. I think a lot more of it than we suspected was probably down to the money. I mean, because some of them had 100 million views on them. That they're outdoing PewDiePie's videos. The guy with 46 million subscribers or something, and yet yet these videos, because they were, and a lot of this, and I don't know if this has been fixed because I don't have it, was because it was all on the YouTube Kids app, where people will just stick stick it in front of their kid, and then it'll autoplay every video one after the other. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some dark arts and something twisted about it, and whether it, I mean, I don't know, like I said, if it's some kind of paedophile Illuminati who are trying to desensitize children as early as possible. That's, you know, it's not out of the question, but it is a bit strange. But I think many of these videos were made because of the amount of hits and views that they got, because they knew they'd make so much money. It's the live action that really creeps me out more than the animation.
But why would those videos get more hits than another video with the same title, with a similar content that doesn't have the ridiculous sexual element to it, or whatever,
or injections,
or whatever, yeah, or the slavery, or whatever? It was, you know, what I'm trying to say is those kind of images and those kind of details are not accidental, are they? It's not just somebody doing it for a laugh. Well,
no, it is, though. It's people manipulating the algorithms.
No, but what I'm trying to say was the actual, those... If people are trying to manipulate the algorithm, surely they wouldn't be that bad as to want children to view those
people will do anything for money. Not everyone has yours or my moral compass. These people are dressing up. Do you think those people that do the live action videos dressed up as Spider-Man and Elsa and running around and looking like absolute twats, do you think they want to do that? They're not doing that. They're not doing that for fun. They're doing that for money only. It's not like the Bat Dan videos where it's clearly a group of people having a laugh and parodying Batman. These are people that have gone, kids are going to love this. Get your fucking Spider-Man costume on. Get your Elsa outfit on and run around like a twat.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just, well, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disturbing. But yeah, with regard to all this trolling and bullying and what's trolling, I suppose we don't know where the line is really. It's just about the individuals and what the actual... What's the goal of the people doing it? Are they just doing it to inflict pain on people? Are you doing it for a laugh? Because we've all played parts in practical jokes on lawn and whatever, and if the odd prank call here and there, if you're stupid enough to fall for it, what harm does it do? You know what I mean? But
oh no, absolutely. I mean, I remember as a kid, like, we'd phone up bowling alleys and say, do you have £10 balls? Yes. How do you walk? Like, but that's not... I mean, that might give someone a smile. It's not going to affect their life, is it?
Yeah, and it fascinates me, the troll thing, because it's like, it's such an easy thing to do. People that 20 years ago would have been doing nothing with anything of their life, would just be sitting in the bedroom watching repeats of Red Dwarf or something, can now go online and project their frustrations at life out onto other people and do it in an anonymous way. It's quite unprecedented, really, and they can basically spend their whole lives doing that, their whole free time, can't they?
Well, here's what I think. I think it's a word we used to use a lot more, and it probably is a better fit for what we mean these days when we say SJWs, is keyboard warriors. Because that term used to be used a lot more before. It's like these, you know, people are always very, very brave when they've got a mask of anonymity.
Yeah, but the social justice warrior is very different. That's somebody who sees themselves as a white knight protecting other people, and they'll do it online as well as doing it in real life. It's like, but with keyboard warriors, that's just somebody who thinks that, basically, they think that their opinion is valid and total and absolute, and they feel that because they do that from a keyboard, they've got something about them. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they're sticking up for a cause. It can just be that they're calling somebody shit, or calling a celebrity crap, or the dissing the music of a musician, you know. But yeah, with regard to keyboard warriors, yeah, it basically means that anybody who wants to can do anything they want to now. In other words, if you want to be a twat and you haven't got the balls to do it to people's face, you can do it via a keyboard.
Yeah.
Which 20 years ago you couldn't do.
But of course, there's a big difference between doing something, let's say, in regards to someone like Lorne or anyone who, you know, has disgraced themselves, been proven to be a bad person. There is always a case to say, well, it's justified to go as far as I want with that person, but it's not okay with someone just because you think they're a bit of a dick, but they haven't, you know, committed any crimes or anything. And I think that's... Sometimes there are definitely victims of trolling.
Well, that was the interesting thing with Lorne, because it's another reason why I find his story and his character so fascinating. He tried to do the unthinkable. He got caught and he got sent to prison and he paid his crimes. He's not attempted to do it again, but yet people are still going at him. Now, did my channel got deleted because of the Lorne videos? I don't know who it is and I don't care anymore who got it taken down. But did what I did amount to harassment or trolling of Lorne? Because I'm open to either possibility, and I always questioned the videos I made. I did attack him personally in some of the videos. We know a lot of personal stuff about him. I said some pretty unpleasant things about him. I'm open to the possibility that wasn't justified.
But I think it was mostly. I mean, that's the thing. It's like he's been on TV. We're all aware of his crimes. Like, I think you're allowed to judge people like that. You weren't interacting directly with him, but I suppose watching your videos could have had an effect on his life. It's very...
Well, that's what I mean. He could have sat there and gone, oh my God, he's making another video about me. What am I going to do? There was always that part of me that thought, I don't really think that I'm not sure this is, you know, have I got any right to do this? Even when I did that, I did a last video 2 weeks ago when I just went through the chat log of him and Kayla, and it's so entertaining. And I love it. And people, those videos are the ones that get the most views, and people love hearing about it. And I've got another one planned, by the way, when I sort my internet out. I'm going to analyse the Lorne, Derek, and Kayla love triangle.
Yes, my favourite character, Derek, in the Lorne saga. But then you can always say, well, you know, this guy we know for a fact he's a bad person. But then you could, you know, there are people out there that have been completely innocent victims of trolling. What's her name? Amanda Knox?
Well, that backpacker that supposedly was involved in that murder.
The Italian backpacker. No, not her then. The girl, and it was I don't even really want to talk about it because it's really, really sad story. But she was like 13 and in some chat site, and then like people goaded her into showing her tits, and then someone took a screenshot of it and blackmailed her, and then she got bullied at school and called a slut and stuff, like, because this guy then sent the pictures around the school, and then let's just say the ending of the story is very dark. It's a very sad story. And that girl didn't deserve it at all. That just shows how people are cruelty, and the people that were behind that deserve to go to prison. Well, like, for example, we can analyse like the trolling of Lorne till the cows come home. You wouldn't say anyone behind it deserves to go to prison. You might say, well, I don't agree with that, or that makes me a bit uncomfortable. But you wouldn't say that they're making themselves a criminal or something. You might just say, okay, the trolling's been funny up until this point, and this isn't so funny anymore, or this, you know, morally it doesn't follow my personal code of ethics, which I think everyone has their own personal code of ethics. And so you go, okay, well, I don't agree with that. And then you voice that, and the people that are 100% behind it go, well, that, you know, you're wrong. And you go, well, no, I'm just voicing my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. But there are people out there that do terrible things to people through the medium of the internet that should not be allowed near computers, should not be allowed to go into anyone else's life and affect it, because it might have a profound and very emotionally disturbing effect on that person, especially, you know, if it's a young kid or something.
Yeah, and you know, it's been said in the comments that there are way worse channels up there, blatantly racist or other hateful opinions as facts. When, yeah, it's true, there's a lot of dickheads that... The problem is with YouTube, when someone has a moderately successful channel, it makes them think that their opinion actually counts for something. when it's no more valid than anybody else's, and that makes them arrogant, and then they come out with shite, and some people will believe what they're saying, and that just spreads hate.
You sound like you're describing the version of myself I'm writing for my scam bait mockumentary thing.
So, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, I don't respect anyone's opinion who's got less subscribers than me.
Well, yeah. I mean, you guys don't hear the things that Adam says off air. I mean, if you think Jesus, I mean, I'm saying he actually thinks he is Jesus. That's the problem.
I'm the second coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My neighbours think I'm quite weird when I go and stand on the balcony in a pair of pants with my arms spread.
Why do you think he's got longishy hair and a beard? That he thinks he's, that's Jesus.
I don't think I am.
Well, there you go. On that note, I can't imagine Jesus saying, "No, I'm stuck. I've got to go out. I've got to spread the word." Edidka, Yately.
Winners. Can I go to? I don't feel like going into the office today, David. Can I have a day off? Yeah, of course you can, David. That's me talking to myself, not me in bed with another man called David.
We can't do one video without quoting the office.
Quoting the office. Of course we need an office quote in there. We probably murdered the quote itself, but you get the gist of it. Yeah, well, we've gone an hour and 10 minutes, 70 minutes if we're living in a place that doesn't believe in hours.
Yes, time for it. It's been quite a fun, detailed chat. I think maybe time for another similar video.
I think we always knew we were never going to come to a conclusion on this. So in conclusion, we'll just say, yeah, trolling's fun when it's fun, and if it's not,
it's not.
Yeah. When the fun stops, stop. Wait, that's gambling, isn't it?
Yeah, but it could be said for trolling as well. The thing is, if it's mean, it shouldn't be fun anyway. So it's kind of right.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those subjects we can always come back to, but I don't think we'll ever, we could discuss it till the cows come home, but there's never going to be a definitive answer. And once the internet's in existence and social media's in existence, it's always going to be something that goes on. And I think to an extent people have to, sorry to continue a bit further, but the victims themselves need to have enough smarts to understand when they're being trolled and step away as well. And that is where you could come for the argument in regards to like the lawn trolling. If he's stupid enough to keep coming back for more, then doesn't he deserve it? And I think that's the mentality a lot of people had.
Yeah, you just brought up a point there that we haven't really touched on much, is it? It's like these people that get offended, fucking man up, because it's a fucking big bad world out there. And if if you're the type of person that throws a hissy fit when someone says something that maybe you think is offensive towards women, I think you need to fucking grow up and grow a thick skin, because it's a fucking tough world out there. And if you can't take some harsh words, you're not going to get very far, are you? You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not. And I suppose that's where your sort of feelings on Chris Chan hold more weight than mine. What I believe is to be true. If you're high functioning autistic, I don't think it's any excuse for a lack of personal development. But it probably does give him more excuse for the reason because there is a term for that, like repeatable behavior, isn't there?
I think the autism thing, the reason I kind of not used it as an excuse, but I believe it gives him a bit more leeway with regard to his behavior, is because if he didn't have that autism, he wouldn't have been picked on in the first place. It wouldn't have been an interesting target. It's because he acts and behaves differently that made him become a target in the first place. That's why I think he deserves a bit more leeway. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, and I think a lot of the trolling with him, it was very mean, but some of it was a lot of fun. Liquid Chris and such was a lot of fun, but yeah, the Blue Spike and some other things. I think it's very much Schadenfreude, because when I see that beginning of that video where he goes, "Oh, the pickle man tricked me again," and he just looks so dejected.
Hey, Base Sherman's in the chat.
Oh, hey, Base Sherman. But I can't help but find that funny, and I know that makes me a terrible person, but the way he looks at the camera so dejected and just goes, "The pickle man tricked me again." I mean, it's just such a surreal statement in itself that it makes it funny. Does it justify what happened to him? Probably not, but it was amusing to me.
Yeah. I mean, we've not, because we got a bit like dishevelled with some of the TCAP community thing. We've not done any lawn or TCAP stuff on this channel for a long time, but obviously, if you want to, it's always fun to go down the lawn rabbit hole every now and again, isn't it? Maybe we should do one soon.
What, down his literal rabbit hole?
Down his literal rabbit hole. That'd be an ace fucking title for the video, wouldn't it?
Down Lorne's literal rabbit hole. Okay,
yeah,
that could be our next stream. Maybe we could do an introduction to people who aren't aware of him. But then
come on, we've got Base Sherman in the fucking house. Who's not going to be aware of him? Maybe we can even get Sherman in on that video.
That would be nice. Yeah, we'll try and be a bit. Well, yeah, last time we were with Shaman, I was very, very drunk, and it was like.
You were, but we waited up a fucking long time, didn't we? Like, oh my god, it was hours, just because of the time difference. It's like we did it for anybody that didn't know. Mr. Sherman very kindly invited us to do one of his Predator Planet videos, where we did actually talk about lawn, but it was like 4 a.m. our time, and we had to wait up for ages, didn't we? And we were both pissed.
Well, we should clarify for the Americans, in English, pissed means drunk. Because that sounds...
oh, yeah, of course, yeah, they use it a bit differently, don't they? Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were both a few sheets to the wind.
Indeed, you more than me, though.
I'd been on the spirits all night. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Guys in the chat as well, go and check out Base Shaman's channel. If I'm sure most of you are aware who he is, but if not, go and check him out.
He's actually, unlike us two, he's actually fucking professional.
Yes, yeah, yeah. He has a bit more than just a picture for the whole stream for an hour.
Yeah, he actually knows what he's doing.
Right. Well, yeah. So I think we've kind of come to our conclusions on this. Our conclusion that there will never be a full conclusion, but. Like I said, and guys in the chat, if you have time, check out the Reactor video. Mumkey Jones did a video on Reactor to see an example of what I think is trolling at its best.
Can you send me that link now? I'm going to watch it when this is done.
Let me see if I can find it, and I'll put it in the chat now.
Send it to me on Skype as well.
Right, here we go. How a satire channel broke Reddit.
It was January.
Sorry. Hopefully no one could hear that. I don't know if System Sounds is being shared. Oh no, of course it is. Right, I'll pop this in the chat.
I couldn't. Oh no, I'm just hearing your voice, aren't you?
So I need to sign in to chat. What?
Yeah, well, we can resolve that later. Oh.
No, I can't because I need to put it in the chat now. Right, very unprofessional of me. Apologies. Thought I was signed in. Right. Sorry. Here we go. Alright, we're coming to the end though. There you go. Check out that video, guys, because that's an example of trolling at its best.
Or worse, depending on which way you look at it.
Well, yes, I suppose if people dislike any kind of trolling. But it's a trolling where no one gets harmed, and it's very cleverly done and intelligent. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, Andy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Adam.
And thanks for joining us, everyone, in the chat. I hope you've had a good time. We will be back very soon, I'm sure. And I'll speak to you all soon.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.